give you credit for any time served, and the court will sentence you to 35 years in the prison. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you sign it? 2021 CR 9984, State of Texas versus Jose Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Alfonso Cabañas for defendant Jose Gonzalez.
And are you Mr. Gonzalez? All right, you're going to need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear. You entered a plea of no contest to count 1 for the offense of murder on June 13th. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 35 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, and there are 2 cases that are being taken in consideration. Those cause numbers are 2021 CR 9982 and 2021 CR 9983. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
I have, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
None from defense, Judge.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
Not for the sentence.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, Judge, only Mr. Gonzalez, but I don't know if the court wants to allow him to talk or...
However you wish to do it. If I'm going to swear him in, if he's going to be doing it by narrative and the state has no objections, then we can proceed by narrative.
And we can do that, Judge.
All right.
Narrative.
State, will you have any objections to proceeding with testimony from the defendant by narrative? Of course, you'll have a chance to cross-examine him.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, Mr. Gonzalez? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Jose C. Gonzalez, Jr.
All right. And defense says there's something you wish to inform the court of?
David Gonzalez, you were given an opportunity to talk to the judge. But, well, let me just say it up, Judge. We've had a chance to go over the PSI, right, Mr. Gonzalez? Prior to today, you and I had talked about what was going to happen this morning, and you are aware of it, right? It is your desire.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to have to speak up. Court reporter cannot hear. All right, yes.
It is your desire, Mr. Gonzalez, to talk to the judge about the sentencing today and tell her what it is you feel or what it is you want her to know about the sentencing, correct? Yes, sir. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Judge Boyd, I stand before not only you, but the family of the victim as well.
Okay, I am so sorry, but you're whispering. And I know it's hard, but if the court reporter can't hear you and I can't hear you, then what you're saying is not going to make a difference because I can't hear you.
I stand before the judge today, ma'am, not only the judge, but the family of the victim as well, ma'am. And I just want to say, not only am I embarrassed, but I truly am sorry. And I take full responsibility for what happened that night. And it wasn't intentional. I was under the influence. I made some bad choices and even worse decisions. And I just want the family to know that I truly am sorry. This isn't my character. I was out of character this night that this happened. And I know how I would feel if this would happen to one of my family members. And I just want the family to know that it wasn't me that night. Like I said, I had some things go wrong in my life and I made bad choices and completely am sorry for it. I can't say it enough or express how truly sorry I am and remorseful. And I know that not only do they have to live with it, but it's something that I have to live with the rest of my life. And I truly am sorry from the bottom of my heart for everything that I caused and for all this that I brought up, and I accept full responsibility.
All right. Any other questions for your client?
No questions at this time for Mr. Gonzalez, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gonzalez, you saw the PSI report with your attorney, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, you just need to speak up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is there anything that from your statement in here that you would like to retract from what you talked about, especially about the actual incident that night? Because the reason I ask that is because you said today in court that you're taking full responsibility for it.
Yes, sir.
Now, the problem is that in this report, and I'll read from it, it says that the person that you ran over tried to hit you with a tire iron.
Yes, sir.
And then you also stated that he jumped in front of the truck 2 different times.
Yes, sir.
And then the second time is when I ran him over.
Yes, sir.
But you do realize that he walked in front of that vehicle. I have a video that I'll be showing you shortly. And he came over to the driver's side. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And you were in the driver's seat. And you drove forward. And then you backed up. And then that person, Mario Renteria, walked in front of the car and got into the grassy area. Do you recall that?
I'm sorry, just 1 second. Excuse me. In the box, if you all cannot whisper, do not talk. We're on the record. You may continue.
Do you recall that? He got out of the way of the vehicle. He was getting out of your way, and you turned the wheel and drove directly over him. Do you recall that?
I turned the wheel to the right. He was standing in front of the driver's side in front of me, and I turned the wheel to the right to try to veer off and go around, but there's only so far because there's a ditch right there.
Okay.
That I was, but
You saw the video, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have an opportunity to see it again. Okay.
yes, sir.
So I might give you the benefit of the doubt, considering that you're intoxicated at night. Why don't you tell the judge what were you on that night?
Meth, marijuana, I don't even know what else.
Xanax?
I don't even remember taking Xanax, sir. But if I was, I was.
Also, just going to your record, you just got out of prison,
Yes, sir.
and then this happened.
Yes, sir.
And so the way I read this is that you're stating that it was the victim's fault that you ran over him.
I'm not gonna say it was all completely his fault, but I mean, if it's seen like on the video, I tried to go around the passenger side. I was trying to avoid a situation that happened at the gas pump, period. And that's what I was trying to get away from.
So how you just said not all of his fault or possibly his fault. How is it any of his fault?
I mean, it's not his fault. I mean, we were both at bad places, at even worse time. And I mean, I know he was just changing his tire, but at the same time, when I approached him, if I recall correctly, I told him like, hey, I wanted to try to get out of there, period. And when I asked him for a ride, it just, I don't know, he wasn't, I guess because my demeanor, I have my shirt off, I have tattoos, maybe I was.
I mean, you're a gang member, right?
No, sir, I'm not.
You're not part of the Mexican Mafia. That's what it was dictated in here.
I understand it was dictated, but no, I'm not.
What's the Playboy bunny behind your ear?
It's just a Playboy bunny.
Just a Playboy bunny?
Yes, sir.
That's not related to the Technology Homes at all?
No, sir. The Ore Horns and the Mexican Mafia.
I know they conflict. I see people some switch sides. So you also, do you remember approaching him for the first time? You approached him twice.
No, I don't.
And so you approached him once, had an altercation with him, you walked to the gas pumps, and then you walked across the road. Do you remember that?
No, sir.
Do you remember being in the median with your boxers down, your shorts down?
No, sir.
And do you remember walking back and talking to people at the gas pumps again?
Sir.
Do you remember going then to the victim's truck when he was on the passenger side trying to change his tire?
When I remember was when I walked up to him when he was at the driver's side and he was standing there with that, I guess, the tire iron in his hand.
To be fair, he's changing the tire. So what would you have in your hand if you're changing the tire?
I mean, I understand that.
Well, you stated here that he hit you with it. Do you recall that, or you just say that?
No, I said he swung it at me. I never said he hit me with it.
Okay. Well, because in here it says that he Okay, yeah, I closed the door and the guy was standing there with the tire on. Was that the individual, the victim that you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever bash on the windows or anything like that, trying to get you out of that truck? It's on video, so I want to know if you remember.
I don't remember. I'm not.
Do you recall saying that there was another guy in the truck and he was closing the door and that there was a girl in the truck that you're trying to help?
That was the first truck that I
The first
walked
truck.
up on.
Now, to be fair, you don't know those people over there by the gas pumps either. I talked to them and they don't know.
This isn't just a routine hearing, it's a murder sentencing with a 35-year cap on the line. Gonzalez says his sorry says it wasn't intentional, but in Texas being high on meth and other drugs doesn't erase responsibility. The judge isn't just listening to words, she's measuring them against cold hard evidence. The courtroom is locked in tense silence as Jose Gonzalez with a shaky voice attempts to explain himself to Judge Stephanie Boyd.
Anything further, Judge?
State, any further questions?
Not for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Any other witnesses, defense?
Not from defense, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. State,
We'll reserve for close, Your Honor.
defense.
Thank you, Judge. I think what we just saw, Your Honor, on both video and what we heard from Mr. Gonzalez are the unfortunate consequences of an individual who was heavily intoxicated by multiple drugs. If the court reviews the PSR, it will see that prior to this incident, Mr. Gonzalez did not have any assaultive offenses. It was nothing but drug use, for which he did his time and was on parole. From the beginning of my representation of Mr. Gonzalez, Your Honor, I want the court to know that Mr. Gonzalez has been very apologetic for that night, for the death that he caused, and for the terrible loss that it caused to the victim's family. He's never once, Mr. Gonzalez, he's never once told me that he wanted to fight this case or take this case to trial. Nonetheless, we reviewed discovery, we saw the video, we saw the reports, and it is confirmed through the evidence and his testimony that he was heavily intoxicated by use of meth. The court just saw his behavior was erratic. As Mr. Gonzalez said, it's completely out of character for him that evening. But as a consequence of his drug use, Your Honor, there was a person who died, and for whom Mr. Gonzalez expressed his remorse and also his sorry to the family. And I say that, Judge, because I want the court to consider what Mr. Gonzalez said, the PSR, but more importantly, in acknowledging that Mr. Gonzalez from the very beginning accepted his guilt. Regardless of what the state asked him or regardless of his answers, you can tell that Mr. Gonzalez has difficulty expressing himself. But I want the court to know that in no way did Mr. Gonzalez ever or today try to minimize his guilt or put the blame on the victim. He accepted responsibility. He told the court he was under the influence of drugs. And he didn't. Done that evening. And so with that said, Your Honor, I would like the court to consider a punishment, thank you, to consider a punishment for Mr. Gonzalez of 20 years incarceration.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Victim in this case, Mario Renteria, just trying to fix his flat tire. Pulled up in that gas station where he'd been numerous times before. In the testimony that he was there quite often to go get a drink before he goes to work or anything like that. He was a frequent individual that came by there. He was a nice man that he was just there to change that tire. And what ended up happening to him that night is egregious. This individual, Mr. Gonzalez, has pled to this case, but the fact is that he hasn't answered for the case yet. And the fact is that he approached the victim 2 different times, and witnesses would have testified and in the prosecution guide that Mr. Renteria was not aggressive, that wasn't attacking Mr. Gonzalez at all, was trying to get away from him at times. And you can see from the video that the state has provided to the court and shown to the court that the victim walked in front of that car 2 different times, and the defendant had an opportunity to leave in that stolen vehicle if he wanted to leave. But he chose to turn that wheel to the right and run over Mr. Renteria directly. And so in saying that, Your Honor, I want to go over a portion of what the autopsy shows of the damage that the defendant caused. Both femurs, both legs were broken in half. Pelvis had multiple fractures. He had a broken back, mid-back, and the thoracic. He had a lacerated liver. He had a lacerated lungs. He had a skull fracture, and every single one of his ribs were broken. What is called a collapsed abdominal, where he could not have breathed. So in saying that, Your Honor, 20 years is a manslaughter, 35 years is a murder. This is plain and simple a murder. He knowingly, intentionally drove that vehicle over the victim, and the state would be asking for 35 years, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez, I want you to know that I always reread stipulations. I always read the PSI report, and I always keep an open mind in listening to arguments from the defense and also from the state. And I understand that maybe if you had not been using drugs, maybe none of this would not have happened. We will never know, because we have to deal with what we're here for now. And what I'm looking at is the fact that you had someone who is merely trying to change their tire, and now they're dead through no fault of their own. So that's an issue. I know that anytime that someone is sentenced to, it's difficult, because those are years behind bars that you're not able to do the things that you want to do. You can still see your family, but it's different seeing your family locked up as opposed to being in what they call the free world. But at the same time, there's someone who is no longer with us through your actions, and who knows what joy or happiness they were due to bring to this world, but you took their chance away from that. You took the chance of them being able to have more time with their family. You understand? That's either yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So previously, the court found you guilty. The court is going to assess an affirmative finding of deadly weapon, taking consideration 2021 CR 9982, 2021 CR 9983. Is there going to be victim impact?
Yes, we have two, Your Honor.
All right. So members of the complainant's family are going to speak to you. I require that everyone in this court is respectful to each other. But as you can imagine, I'm sure there is heartbreak. Right? So just internalize what's being said. All right?
Then the surveillance video plays and everything changes. The victim tries to move out of the way, but Gonzalez turns the wheel and runs him over. The autopsy details are devastating at this point. It's no longer about apologies, it's about accountability. So ask yourself, accident or murder?